Welcome to a software demonstration brought to you by QPSMR Limited, suppliers of the QPSMR software suite for market research and analysis. CATI Supervisor Reports and Tables. This is the fourth of 4 introductory videos designed for those who are interested in using QPSMR for telephone interviewing. Following on from the previous demonstrations where we looked at modifying a questionnaire for CATI, sample management, quota control and creating and interviewing with a CATI file, using example data files, we will now run some supervisor reports with the QPSMR CATI software. Firstly, we will look at the reports available from the supervisor menu, starting with a summary of the sample file. To do this, we select Supervisor, Sample, Summary View, then locate and open the sample data file. The summary report is then displayed in a view window on screen with the total amount of sample, the amount remaining, and the amount of fresh contacts shown. This information is also displayed for each sample point, both as figures and percentages. Supervisor reports can be printed, copied to, or opened with a word processor or spreadsheet program as required. However, for this demonstration, we will simply close the view and take a look at another report. This time we will list all of the serial numbers in our sample data file, and for each serial the responses to various sample management ZZZ entries are shown. To do this, we select Supervisor, Sample, List Serial Details, and again locate and open the sample data file. This time we will copy the report into a spreadsheet program by using the toolbar icon, selecting Yes to the access message. We then close the view window before opening our spreadsheet program and pasting. Notice for each serial number the ZZZ SST sample status entry is shown. A 0 response means not tried, a 1 means the contact was successful, and a 2 means that the contact failed. The ZZZ STR entry shows the number of times the serial has been called, and the telephone number is in the next column. Entry ZZZ SR0 shows the result of the last contact as a response number. You can double-click the entry in the Coffee QDF file to see the response texts. ZZZ SR1 shows the result of the previous call, and the final column contains our sample point region, again as response numbers. This file can be saved if required, but we will simply close, don't save, and return to QPSMR CATI. Next, we will select Supervisor Appointment List to produce a CSV file containing all the project appointments. We will call the report Appointment List Example and save. The list is displayed in a view window on screen, but as the easiest way to look at the list is to open it in our spreadsheet program, let's close and using the Windows Explorer locate our project folder and the appointment list CSV file we have just made, then double click to open it in our spreadsheet program. Notice we can see the serial number, the date and time of appointment, who should call, the priority, any short comments, the percentage of the interview already completed, the number of tries, along with the date, the time and result of the last call, the sample point region, and any long comment details are also shown. Closing this file and not saving, we will return to QPSMR CATI. So far, the reports we have looked at have used just one data file. Before we generate other supervisor reports, it is important to understand about CATI data files so we make the correct selections. When working with CATI projects, a respondent is either available to be contacted, information for these respondents is held in the sample data file, or an appointment has been made and they are waiting to be called back. Their information is copied from the sample file and is held in the partial data file. Or the interview is finished, meaning that it was successful or it was terminated. Data for these respondents is stored in the main data file. For the next supervisor reports, we will need to decide which type of respondents are required so we can choose the appropriate questions and select the correct data files. Firstly, we will look at what has happened to all of the serial records in our project by selecting Supervisor, List of Serials, Complete List of Serial Records. For this report, we open all three data files, holding down the Control key, as the serial records could be in the sample file before contact has been made, or the partial file, those with appointments, or in the main file containing finished records, either successful or terminated. We will name the CSV file Serial List Example and save. Again, we will close the View window and open the CSV file in our Spreadsheet program. Notice all serial numbers found in our project are listed in numerical order, showing information about the record, including the number of tries, the percentage of the questionnaire completed, along with date, time, interviewer, and the call result of each time contact was attempted. Where the serial appears in more than one file, each instance is listed, so for serials in the partial and main data files, there will also be a sample row marked started. We will now return to QPSMR CATI and take a look at the call results from our survey. We will select Supervisor, Results of Calls, and again locate and open all three data files, the sample, partial and main. We will name the CSV file Results of Calls Example and save. Again, we will close the View window and open the CSV file in our Spreadsheet program. Sample point entries are shown across the top of the report and the outcomes down the side. The number of tries, taken from ZZZ STR, is shown first, followed by the number of outcomes and the outcome reasons, taken from the ZZZ SR entries. Only the last 10 outcomes are included in the report, so if your sample is tried many times, the number of tries may be larger than the outcome number. We will close this report, not saving. And now take a look at how to create supervisor reports as tables. When creating quick tables or sets of tables, you can use any entries from your CATI project, but you will need to select the correct data files, the sample, the partial containing appointments, and the main file, finished records. It is important to understand that records are never removed from the sample file. They are copied into the partial and/or main data file. Also, records in the main data file are both interviews that were successful and those which have been permanently terminated. Therefore, any tables created may also need to be filtered on the information held in the ZZZ End questionnaire status entry. Response 1 means a successful interview. Response 2 is used for a respondent who was out of quota. ZZZ End Response 3 is a respondent that was not eligible for interview. Response 4 means a record that was aborted. And ZZZ End 5 is used for a partial record where an appointment has been made. When analysing the questions asked in a CATI survey, the main data file should be used with tables globally filtered using the definition ZZZ End 1 to ensure only successful interviews are included. In our demonstration today, we will simply create a set of 3 supervisor report tables, saving the file, so in a live situation it could be rerun as required. So using the toolbar icon, we open and save a tables file, which we will call Supervisor Tables, and apply some settings that will be used on all of the tables we create. To do this, we select Global Table Settings, and we will type the header Coffee CATI Supervisor Tables. We will also apply the format option CLW9 to make the columns on our tables 9 characters wide. Next, we click Data Files, select Add to List, and locate and open the main data file. Then we add and open the partial data file and also the sample data file. Notice all 3 data files are listed before we click OK and OK again to return to the tables window. We will analyse the status of the record by the number of tries and also by the call result from the most recent contact. Then we will analyse the interviewer who last made contact by the region filtered on successful interviews. So to specify these tables, we insert a standard table and click Columns. We hold down the Control key and select ZZSTR, the number of calls made, and also ZZSR0, the last call result, and click OK. Next, we select Rows and choose the last entry called V status. This entry, which was copied from the skeleton QDF file when we created our Coffee QDF, contains the status of the record. And then we click OK. Finally, we will apply Format option ANR, All Answering Rows, so that only respondents included in the V status variable are included in our table, and click OK. If you remember, we selected all 3 project data files. Respondents in the partial and main files are copied from the sample file, so if we did not apply Format ANR, respondents would be included in the total more than once, as those in the main and partial files are also in the sample file. Now to specify the final table. Again, we insert a standard table and click Columns, this time selecting Region, and click OK. Next, we click Rows, and taking care to select the correct entry, choose ZZZUN0, the call username. Then list all rows, followed by OK, as the default setting of 100 rows is sufficient for this small example project. For your own projects, if you have more than 100 records, you may need to increase the max rows expected setting. Now we will apply a filter ZZZend a 1, so only successful interviews are included, and remove the format option ANR copied from the previous table, then click OK. Next, we use the Go toolbar icon to run our tables, saving our work at the message. Looking at table 1, we can see that so far for our project, respondents have been tried up to 4 times and 28 respondents have not yet been tried and are still a fresh sample. Of the 18 tried once, 8 are still live sample, 2 have been marked dead because the contact failed, 4 are successful interviews, 2 were not eligible, and 2 have appointments and are awaiting a callback. The 2 respondents tried twice are both successful, and so on. Moving down to table 2, the result of the last call is shown across the top. So, for example, we can see that the 5 no reply and 3 engaged outcomes are still live sample, but the 2 dead sample responses are because the number was unobtainable or the wrong number. Notice for table 2, as there are too many columns to fit on one page, QPSMR has automatically split the table onto 2 pages. Finally, Table 3 shows the number of successful interviews from each of our sample point regions completed by the interviewers. As with other reports, these tables can be printed or copied to your spreadsheet program as required, but we will now simply close. We hope you have found this demonstration and the others in the QPSMR telephone interviewing series useful. Other videos are available on the YouTube channel for QPSMR Limited. Why not take a look? For more information about the products and services available from QPSMR Limited, please visit our website www.qpsmr.ltd.uk.